Odelowa wrote a letter addressed to the management of Uracare Multi-Specialist Hospital, Lagos, over alleged medical negligence leading to the death of her first son, Nkanu. May his soul rest in peace. You can find copies of this letter on her Facebook page at Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I'm Dr. Kunesta Chemere Oma, and I'll be talking about this today, not just because I'm a doctor, but because I'm not immune to the humanity of man, and neither will I be immune to the dangers of a broken system. I've been a patient too, and I can relate to how these things work. Okay, so I'll be reading from her letter. Number 4. The day after Nkanu died, on January 8th, the medical director visited our home in Ikoyi and admitted the errors made by the anesthesiologist. He accepted full responsibility. He also said that he would fire the anesthesiologist. I asked the medical director for detailed situation reports from all those present whom, when Nkanu was discovered pulseless in the cath lab, he said he had asked them all for written statements on a deadline and promised to get the statements to us by 2 p.m. the following day. My husband and I also asked for Nkanu's medical records and were told we would get them the following day as well. However, nothing was sent to us the following day. I wanted all the documentation as I was, and I remain determined that the anesthesiologist should never again put the life of another child at risk. Number 13. The medical director, who had so far behaved honestly and humanely, suddenly changed. He said he could no longer send our medical records because Uracare management had taken over. He also never sent the situation reports, which had been assured we would get. Number 16. After the medical director said he could no longer send our medical records, our lawyers asked Uracare for them. Uracare refused to send the records, claiming that our request did not seem to comply with relevant laws, but oddly did not bother to name the laws. It was not only a lazy and insulting response, it was also simply wrong, as we do indeed have the right to our child's medical records. We should never have had to battle simply to get our medical records. Now, this case is, of course, it's a legal matter backing up this case, so I'm not the judge, I'm not the jury. Did you know that there was something called the Patient's Bill of Rights? Did you know that you had rights as a patient in a Nigerian hospital? Many people are not aware of this, including healthcare workers too, are not aware that whenever you walk into the hospital gates, you are not just coming for a favor. You are a client who is about to be offered services, and so your rights as a consumer should be protected. The Patient's Bill of Rights was signed into law on July 18th, 2018 by the Nigerian government. It's made up of 12 rights of a patient adapted from the Nigerian Constitution, the National Health Act, and other laws, backed up by the Federal Ministry of Health and the Federal Competition and Consumers Protection Commission. So let's see, what are your rights as a patient in a Nigerian hospital? Number 1, you have the right to relevant information in a language and manner you understand, including your diagnosis, your treatment, other procedures, and possible outcomes. You have the right to know. Now let's talk about the private hospitals who sometimes would break out the drugs and put in a white sachet so that you wouldn't know the name. It is wrong. I hope you know your rights now. Next time, demand to know the name of the medications you are given to. You have the right of timely access to detailed and accurate medical records and available services, not another person's records, your own records. You have the right to have them. You have the right to know them. 3, you have the right to transparent billing and full disclosure of any cost, including recommended treatment plans. You have the right to privacy and confidentiality of medical records. Nobody should divulge your information to another person, no matter how close they are to you, without your own consent. It is wrong for your healthcare provider to release your details, such as your phone number, without your consent. You have the right to clean, safe, and secure healthcare environments. You have the right to be treated with respect, regardless of gender, race, religion, ethnicity, allegations of crime, even a criminal, disability, or economic circumstances. You have the right to be treated with dignity as a human person. You have the right to receive urgent, immediate and sufficient intervention and care in the event of an emergency, regardless of your ability to pay. It is wrong for a patient coming to the hospital in an emergency and you're asking him, have you bought card? Have you paid for gloves? Hello, in an emergency. Oga, before we attend to you, you must pay. In an emergency, it is against the law. You have the right to reasonable visitation in accordance with prevailing rules and regulation. Okay, don't go and get your whole community here. Reasonable, that's the key word. You have the right to decline care subject to prevailing laws and upon full disclosure of the consequences of such a decision. Did you know what is called informed consent? Before anybody will carry out a procedure on you, whether it is for your good or not, they are supposed to explain it in full to you. And you have the right to say, no, I don't consent to this. You must give your informed consent before any procedure would go on. There's nothing like autonomy in medical practice. It's been outlawed. Whether your physician knows the best for you or the healthcare worker knows what is best for you doesn't mean they can go ahead. You have the right to decline or consent to participation in medical research, experimental procedures or clinical trials. You're not a lab rat. You have the right to say no, and nobody should victimize you for that. You have the right to quality care in accordance to prevailing standards. You have the right to complain and express dissatisfaction regarding services received. You have the right to sign against medical discharge if you don't want again. A hospital is not a prison where somebody will keep you against your will. And that brings us to the cocoa. Next time you go to a hospital and you feel any of your rights have been violated, how do you go about it? 1. Report to the hospital's chief medical director. Explain your displeasure in full. If you feel it's not being well attended to, you could report to Cervicom. If you look at the walls of most hospitals, you see the number written Cervicom. Call us. You can report to say you came to the hospital and they are pushing you around. People don't want to do their jobs. You can just call Cervicom and you'll be I can attest to this. Cervicom does work. You can also call the hospital grievance desk and report. And if all this fails, you can take it a notch higher. Report to the Health Facilities Monitoring and Accreditation Agency called HEFAMA for that state. These are substantial rights and not mere privileges. Nobody is doing you a favor when they keep to your right. You can also report online. You can formally file a complaint at the FCCPC website at fccpc.gov.ng. Why are we talking about this? We all want Nigeria to work. I want Nigeria to work. But don't forget, where your rights stop as a patient, another person's right starts there. Remember, the healthcare workers are humans too. They have their rights. Make you know to do. Honestly, some patients una to do. So maybe some other time we'll be talking about the healthcare workers' rights. Probably we'll call our own the Physicians' Bill of Rights. It's not only patients that have rights.